This month's TV on DVD releases includes a number of shows that are more current and a couple of classic shows as well. First up, we have the HBO series Hung, the complete first season starring Thomas Jane. Now, I really didn't know what to expect with this series, which is about a high school teacher that basically prostitutes himself out as a male prostitute, but it's actually a really great show. It kind of manages to straddle the line between drama and comedy very well, and with a supporting cast that I really like. Thomas Jane is just fantastic in the lead role, and the show is very, very cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of stuff like Dexter or Breaking Bad. While not as serious or intense as those shows, it's really enjoyable to watch. Now, HBO has released this series on both Blu-ray and DVD, and the Blu-ray actually looks very good. Even though it's a TV show, you get a great picture quality with lots of great colors, really good image clarity, especially on the close-ups, and of course the surround sound actually does its job fairly well, although this is a very dialogue-driven show, so you're not getting a lot of action-packed scenes. In terms of bonus features, there's a making-of look at the show's creation, a look at the women of the show, some personal ads from Ray and Tanya, and then 3 audio commentaries with the show's creators. Next up, we have Curb Your Enthusiasm, the hugely popular show from HBO, currently going into its 7th season. Now, the 7th season I was interested in watching mostly because it had that sort of infamous Seinfeld reunion going throughout the entire season. I don't generally like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I find Larry David to be an incredibly annoying character, if that's what you want to call him, since apparently he mostly plays himself. But I really enjoyed the episodes that dealt with the Seinfeld reunion because it was fun to see how they kind of worked this show within a show sort of storyline into this season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So if you're a Seinfeld fan, you'll probably want to check this out. If you're not a Seinfeld fan and you don't already like Curb Your Enthusiasm, this one might be more of a renter. The Seinfeld episodes are great. The other episodes, which is about half of the season, not so much. In terms of bonus features, there's, of course, a featurette on the Seinfeld reunion. In fact, most of the extras are about Seinfeld. There's a featurette on rebuilding the Seinfeld sets, a featurette with Larry David as George Costanza, and, of course, an interview with Larry David and the Seinfeld cast. So you can kind of see what the theme of that set is. Next up, we have The Closer, the complete 5th season, which, of course, is the hit show starring Kyra Sedgwick. And The Closer is one of those shows that gets harder to review every season because not a lot changes about it. While there are some kind of shiftings in the interpersonal dynamics between the characters, for the most part, it's very formulaic. Kyra Sedgwick goes in, she's tough, she's Southern, she interrogates people, they tell her what she wants to know, the end. So it's an enjoyable show to watch, but not really a whole lot here that you haven't seen before. Special features in this set include a collection of deleted scenes, a crime location map, which is sort of a travel guide through the series, so to speak, and a gag reel. Nothing too exciting there, but a little something extra for the fans. Next, we have ER, the complete 13th season, and I feel like I could pretty much just say the exact same thing I said about The Closer with ER. Not much has changed. It's a hospital. Lots of people get sick and die. Lots of character dynamics and relationships falling apart and starting anew, and there's lots of romantic dramas and tension, and for the most part, it's still the same solid medical drama that it always has been, except now it's with 100% more John Stamos, which I guess is a good thing for some people. So ER, the complete 13th season, as always, only comes with a collection of deleted scenes as the extra features and nothing else. Next, we have Saving Grace from Fox. This is an odd show. It's the final season. That's the 3rd season. And it's the show with Holly Hunter as this sort of hard-living detective with literally an angel on her shoulder. And I've always never quite known what to make of this show, and the 3rd season doesn't really change that. It certainly is interesting, and it's different from what's on TV, but I've never been able to really get into the character that Holly Hunter plays or the show as a whole. By the same token, I don't out-and-out dislike it, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this one falls sort of into that average category, and if you're a fan of the show, then this is certainly worth picking up to complete your collection with. There are no extra features on this set, though, so if you are one of those fans, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. Now we go back in time a little bit to the Virginian, the complete 1st season, which is a beautiful box set from Timeless Media Group. This, of course, was the hit show that ran from 1962 to 1971, and it's kind of one of the first real hit Western TV shows. This box set actually includes 39 hours of television, which is pretty ridiculous to think about how long TV seasons were back in the day. All of the episodes are fully restored and digitally remastered, and it's never been on DVD before, at least not in this configuration. So it's a pretty pretty cool box set if you're a fan of the show. As far as the show itself goes, it's pretty much a typical Western from this time period in television history. It certainly is a fine show. It's not really my cup of tea. I think, of course, it's a little bit slower than what I'm used to for television, but I imagine there's a lot of fans out there who'll be very happy to finally have this first season in their collections. It comes in a really nice tin box that houses the 10-disc set, and it does include a bonus disc that includes interviews with cast members James Drury, Roberta Shore, Gary Clark, Robert Fuller, and Peter Brown. And in addition, the first season includes a number of pretty well-known guest stars. You get George C. Scott, Lee Marvin, Betty Davis, Robert Duvall, Brian Keith, Colleen Dewhurst, Ricardo Montalban, Eddie Albert, Ida Lupino, and a few more recognizable names in there as well. So this is really a great one for those of you who grew up with the show or who maybe have memories of it from their childhood. Finally, we have Sergeant Bilko, the Phil Silvers Show, the first season. This is another one of those shows that's sort of a product of its time, so I don't know how much I can relate to it. It certainly can be funny in places, but it's really just a showcase for Phil Silvers to do his sort of wacky shtick. And if you're not really a fan of Phil Silvers, then this show doesn't really have a whole lot to offer you. I certainly won't say it's bad. Again, it just doesn't really kind of fall into what I'm a fan of. But if you do happen to like the show, this release does have a number of special features on it, including a Lost Audition show, a Lucy Show episode starring Phil Silvers, the original network opening, the original cast commercials, and actually some audio commentaries. So kind of unusually for Paramount, this set has a pretty good amount of special features, which is a nice bonus for Sergeant Bilko fans.